Old Schoolers, Echo Greg here with another recorded webcam match. This is my round 3 of the Guildhouse winter event. It's a EC, so 4 strips and mana burn. We are playing a Swiss style event, so you have one match a week paired up against someone with a similar record, just if you were at an in-person tournament, but drawn out over a week instead of doing it all in one day. So I am on the 4-strip version of my Green Lightning deck. Again, a pretty typical mono green deck with a red splash for bolts in the main and some key sideboard cards. Artifact Blasts for trikes and other pesky artifacts, red elemental blasts for pesky blue cards, disintegrates mostly for trolls, but also do some decent work as a finisher against certain decks, and falling stars for the weenies, and then obviously tranquilities and dervishes for their matchups, just like you would for normal mono green. And then the creature suite's pretty stock for a mono green deck: 4 pixies, 4 elves, 4 scavenger folk, 4 sprites. I do run 4 Urnums in here over having main deck City in a Bottle, so I just prefer that. I like the bigger body that an Urnum gets you over the mana denial, and as you can see here, I'm not even running Ice Storms in this deck because of the 4 strips. And then I have 3 Fire Sprites to help with red mana, and also having extra flyers is really good. Outside of that, you got fast mana and the Mox and the Power, the Lotus, the Soul Ring, to kind of speed out most of the Urnums, but sometimes you can get out other guys pretty quick, like a turn 1 Pixies or Sprites, or double Elf, etc., etc. Crumbles, Mazes, Giant Growths, and the Land, Forest, Pendlehavens, Factories, of course 4 Strip Mines, and the Taigas. So with that, let's get into match number 3. So I'm playing against Stoomy. Hopefully most of you know Stoomy. He's a great part of the old school community. Stoomy is on a mostly black, but with a red splash for trolls and bolts, and then a blue splash for Psyblasts and probably some power. So let's take a look. So I win the die roll. I start off with a forest into an elf and pass. Stoomy's got a swamp or a Badlands into a bolt, taking care of my elf. Pendlehaven, elf, sprite. So keeping that pressure up. There's an underground sea. Another bolt, this time for the sprites, and he passes. There's a strip mine, so I'm going to strip that Badlands, get rid of that red source, come in for 2, and pass to Stu. So he's at 18. End of turn, he is going to Ancestral. As you can kind of see with the glare there, that is definitely not a typical Ancestral recall. Proxies are allowed and encouraged in this event, he drops a Mox and a Swamp and hymns me. And that is one of the rough things about the Mono Black Mana. It just peels all the cards out of your hand, and then it's hard to keep up. So I swing in for another 2, drop a Factory. And that's an order of the Ebon Hand that Stoomy plays. So, gonna make attacking a little difficult. Luckily I draw a Maze, so my camera lost a little bit of focus there. At this point, he doesn't have the mana to both pump and first strike, so I attack in with the elf. Stoomy's deciding whether he wants to try and trade or just take the damage. So he takes it. So I hit another 2, dropping him to 14, and then I play a Scavenger Folk. Thinking about what to do. He's got 4 mana. And he just passes back. So I'm going to activate the factory. I'm going to come with everything. And again, the attacks are pretty safe because I have a maze. He is going to Psy Blast the factory, dropping him down to 12. And then he's going to take... I just do 2 damage because rather than pumping, I want to play another creature. So I have 2 damage from the elf and the folk. And then post-combat main, I drop a Pixies. So he's got a Sinkhole. He's going to Sinkhole my Pendelhaven, which is a very smart play. I draw Strip Mine. I'm going to strip one of his Cs. In response, he's going to give his guy first strike. I'm going to attack with everybody. He's going to block 1. I'll maze it. And then hit him for 2, dropping him down to 8. And then I pass a turn. A City of Brass for Stewie. He's going to tap 4. Yeah. Got the red, so that's what I've been keeping him off of. He does go down to 7, but he's going to fireball 2 of my guys away. The Sprite and the Elf. I attack. He blocks. I've got a Giant Growth, but he was willing to trade to just take me off the creatures completely. But at this point, I've kind of run out of steam. I have no cards in hand. I have 1 mana producing land. And now I have no creatures because he just bolts that. And then he sinkholes my maze. So Stewie drops to 6 from the city damage. I've got a single forest in play and nothing to do, so I just pass a turn. Stewie gets up to 5, and he's got a hippie. So that's going to be a problem. Binance have drop a Scavenger Folk. He hits me. I think that's a Pixies that got thrown away. Then he taps, drops down to 5, and plays a Singer. Not going to be able to get through that, so just pass back. At this point, I think the game's pretty much over. I mean, he is at a low life. If he gets aggressive and taps out... at this point my camera cuts out briefly. So, yeah, there we go. For some reason, Discord was just like, I don't want to see your camera anymore, and it cut itself off. Yeah, Stewie attacks, and I can't see what I discarded. There's a little bit too much glare there on my graveyard, unfortunately. Stewie's going to do a big Brain Geyser, draw a bunch of cards, play another city, pass me. He's down to 4. So as I was saying before my camera went out, like, he is low. I could potentially, chip in, but the problem is with that hippie, I'm gonna have to draw like runner, mountain, bolt, because I can't keep a card in my hand like you would normally be able to. So sinks in for another 6. I go to 4. He's got a hippie, and yeah, this one's all done. He strip mines my forest, and I did not draw a 0 casting cost green balance, so Stewie takes down game 1. For sideboards in this, obviously bringing in those 3 Dervish. At this point, I have only seen black creatures. I have seen bolts, so I think he is on mostly a mono black deck, which I know Stewie loves the black, with bolts and blue splash for the side blast and the power. So the Dervish definitely makes sense here. If I can squeeze them through a bolt, they can get big, do some damage. Bringing in the Falling Star as another card to deal with the hippie and those orders. But outside of that, probably not worried about the Artifact Blast, not worried about Tranquility, obviously, or the Blue Elemental Blast. He does have power, he does have Side Blasts, but not super worried about. The problem with the deck is you can't bring in too much out of the sideboard because then you just don't have enough gas to finish. Like we saw in this, I had a real good start. Once I ran out of gas, it was just over. And he does have Hymns and Mind Twist, and the hippies. So keeping a card like a Red Elemental Blast for a potential late game Brain Geyser or Ancestral or Time Walker or something like that. Doesn't always work out because sometimes they just him it out of your hand, and if that had stayed a creature, I could have played it and got some extra damage in. So not necessarily worth bringing in from what I saw in game one. Alright, so sideboarding's all done. We've shuffled up, drawn our 7. I am going to take the play since I lost game 1, so I'll start off with a Pendelhaven into a Scrub Sprite. Stummy's got a strip for the Pendelhaven, which hurts. Passes. I drop a Taiga into another Sprite. Swamp from Stumi and just passes back. I play a Factory, swinging for 2. Dropping him to 17 and pass. There's a Badlands. And you're going to Sinkhole my Factory. Tap Forest, swing for 2, and play a Dervish. So at this point, hoping he doesn't have an answer to it. But there's a Troll. So I had not seen Trolls in game 1. So that was a bit of a unfortunate. Fortunately for me, I did have a Bolt, and he played out the Troll early, so he could not regenerate it. It does make sense. I don't think he wants to let the Dervish get in any free hits, so there's definitely a risk to it. He even stated it as he played it. He said, I think he played an unprotected Troll, but I got lucky and had the Bolt ready to go. So I swing him for 3, and then the Dervish becomes a 2/2. So Stewie's got another strip. He takes my Maze and then plays a Hippie. City of Brass for me, so I'm going to leave the 2 sprites back on defense to double block the Hippie, and I'll hit in for 2. And then I play a 3rd sprite, and my Dervish becomes a 3/3. So Stewie's at 10. Draw. I come in with everything. He's at low life. I'm willing to lose a sprite to deal extra damage. So I come in, hit him for 6, and then drop and earn him. And yeah, Stummy's got no answer. So nice, quick game number 2. Even it up and going on to game 3. So now that I saw the Trolls, I'm going to bring in those Disintegrates. You can see me tossing them in right there. Again, Pixies is a good card to board out, but I probably had boarded those out already for the Dervishes and at least one of the Falling Stars. Not sure what else I boarded out in this match. Might have taken a Crumble out. He did have Moxen, and the Factories. But other than that, didn't see much artifact. With the Troll, there's always the risk of a disc, which can be very bad for me. So I might have boarded those back in, but if I didn't take any Crumbles, I don't remember exactly what I took out. Just what I brought in. So Stumi will be on the play for this pivotal game 3. And here we go. So a Swamp pass. I have a Taiga into an Elf. Badlands and a Hymn. So yeah, a discard starting early. So we go from 6 down to 2, so he gets a Bolt and a Disintegrate. So that's pretty rough for me. I do strip away his red source, swing in for 1, and then play a Scavenger Folk. But losing an answer to both Hippie and Troll, pretty devil. So then he sinkholes my Taiga away. I do draw Pendelhaven though, and swing in for 3. so that's going to drop him down to 16. But this is looking very reminiscent of game 1, where he is able to blow up the few lands I have. Yep, see, Chaos Aura immediately activates it. Does his flip, nails it, and my Pendelhaven's gone. So he's taken out there, slowing me down, while I am chipping in, doing some good damage. He's still building up, and again, his higher end is a little worse for me. He mind twists me for my hand. For 2 out of the 3 cards in my hand, I decide to bolt him rather than risk losing the bolt, and I lose 2 giant growths. So that's rough, because at this point I could have started throwing giant growths at him. I get him down to 9. That could be 6 with a giant growth. But then he's got fireballs for both my guys. So here I am, City of Brass, no other permanents on board. Stumi's got 4 mana. Gets a strip mine for his 5th. And, yep, takes care of my last land. Passes back. So I get a factory. There's a Mox. There's a Brain Geyser for 3. Land drop for the turn, and Underground Sea, and just passes. No land for me, so I pass back, 3 in hand. Stumi's got all the mana he'll ever need now. There's a Troll with the mana to regenerate it. I do get a Pendelhaven and do a Sprite, so that's going to help. I can chip away with a Pendelhaven too. So that is a 5-turn clock. But again, yeah, there's a Bolt. With the cards he's drawn and the mana he has, probably wasn't going to get there. Then I believe that's a Hippie. Nice altered Hippie. So I'm determining, I want to play an Elephant Pass. Cannot activate the factory. He's got a strip mine for it anyway. And he comes in for 5. And yeah, it's definitely a Hippie. He gets an Arnhem. Plays an order. Passes the turn. I do not draw a land. Can't attack through the order and all the mana he has up. So this is looking pretty rough for me. Swings in with everything. I am down to 11. So talking about how much mana he can pump right now. So I can take 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like possibly 9. So I decide not to block. He pumps it once. So I take 8, drop into 3. If he's got the bolt, I'm dead, but I was dead anyway. Tap it some 3 lands. Plays another Hippie. Yeah, and again, do not draw a green balance. And so I drew the Pendelhaven for the turn and disintegrate. So Stubby takes that down 2-1. Nice job, Stubby. It was a very close matchup. That's usually how those go. It just comes down to, can him and strip and sinkhole away my resources before, and then stabilize before I can kill him. And he was able to do that in games 1 and 2, but not games 1 and 3, but not in game 2. So he takes down 2-1. That puts me at 2-1 in the event. And we'll move on to round 4. So thanks for watching, everyone.